Salutations everyone, welcome to What Mattered. World Cup fever is a-thriving. Did you see that soccer dude make that soccer play in that soccer game? Here, take a look.
Trevino passes to Fedinor. Slide tackle by Gaza. Clearly a flop there, no contact made.
Ah yes, soccer. The only sport that can make Paul Pierce look like a good actor. It seems like the E3 hangover is just about over, with Anime Expo hitting this week, and we have Comic-Con in a couple of weeks as well, so plenty of news forthcoming, and it looks like this will be the end of the slow news period for the time being. By far the biggest news, at least for me, so I think it matters. During Anime Expo, Harmony Gold released that they are doing a Kickstarter for a new Robotech series, and let's just say I'm a fan. Robotech Academy, an idea that the creator of Robotech, Carl Masick, thought up of just before his passing in 2008, might finally be seeing the light of day. They're launching a Kickstarter for a 22-minute pilot episode, and any additional funds will be used to create further episodes, and if it gets enough attention, hopefully, a studio will pick it up for a full season run. And the Kickstarter is for $500,000. It just kicked off yesterday, so there are only a couple tens of thousands right now. But definitely do what you can to help these guys make another fantastic series. Robotech, one of my personal favorites. It's going to be following the Sentinel storyline in the children of the main cast from the Sentinel storyline, and the children of Zor being the antagonist in the series. So, but they don't have a lot to show us yet, but they have all the great creative minds that we've known from Robotech, from like the Shadow Chronicles, as well as, even earlier on this series, heading up this project ever since Masick passed away. This franchise has really been a bit of a standstill, but they're finally bringing one of his dreams to fruition. If this Kickstarter is successful, I expect it to be. I'm donating my money to the cause, and hopefully they give us a fantastic product, and if enough attention gets drawn to it, studio might pick it up for a full season run. So we'll see. Definitely great news, and I can't wait. And speaking of crowdfunding, Rooster Teeth's movie Lazer Team has surpassed the $2 million mark on their Indiegogo campaign, with just, I believe, till Sunday is the last day of the campaign, as well as the last day of RTX, which is happening right now. And they're so close to being the #1 funded film in crowdfunding history. So definitely, if you haven't already, there's a lot of awesome perks that they are giving to supporters through Indiegogo. They have my money, and definitely cannot wait to see what comes of this. They've hit all of their stretch goals outside of being the #1 crowdfunded movie of all time, in which they will release, I think, was a 5-episode second season of The Strangerhood. So, that might be great. But all the huge stretch goals have been met, and they've over, quadrupled what they wanted from this campaign. So, big props to them. Definitely can't wait. They deserve every single penny. As we know, Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming out on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One consoles later this year. And Take-Two Studios has had a lot of high hopes, a lot of high estimates for the amount of units that they're going to sell. But pre-orders have come to a standstill, and they have drastically lowered their expectations about how many of the games they're going to sell. They said they had their goals at 10 million, and now they've drawn that down a lot lower. And people are wondering, why that is. There was such a hype for it when the game came out. They were like, okay, let's just wait till it comes out on the PC and PS4 and Xbox One and yada, yada, yada. And it took a while, but we all kind of knew that was going to happen. And it has happened, but not many people are as excited for it as Take-Two had hoped. And I think there's a lot of reasons for this. First of all, Grand Theft Auto 5 has followed through on precisely 0 promises that they've made since their game came out. They said, like, okay, we got time until multiplayer kicks off, and then that was a huge fiasco, and they still had all kinds of problems. The game is just insanely glitchy. People can't access, their apartments or their garages and stuff, which they have been able to fix a little bit here and there, but there's still a whole lot of problems, glaring issues. You can't turn the cops off. All the most popular game modes from Grand Theft Auto 4 aren't in the game at all. They've given out some free DLC, but Heists is probably going to come out sometime between Half-Life 3 and Grand Theft Auto 7. So we'll see, what comes of that. But I mean, I think the fans have really caught on. They don't want to buy this game again. They've kind of, gone through the ropes of their hearts being broken about promises that Take-Two has made with the game. And the game's just been out for a while. People have done whatever they can do. I mean, the online is a small fraction of what it was when it first launched. And people have gotten wise to it, and I think, good on them. They don't want to give a studio that have, given them such lackluster results from the beginning of this, huge game that did sell 33 million copies, but it doesn't sound like they're going to be selling, 43. And overall, I think it just, serves them right for giving such a shoddy product to the gamers after hyping it up for so much and still not following through on promises given to the gamers, almost a year ago by the time, the next generation comes out, which some people are saying is why they're holding off all this extra stuff to get people hyped. But, dick move if that's the case. Everyone's favorite superpowered mercenary Deathstroke is getting his own solo comic book run for the first time in a long time. I think due to the popularity of his character being raised through his appearances on the Arrow, as well as being like one of the main antagonists of the Batman Arkham Origins game. And I mean, good for him. People have always really liked Deathstroke. He has, a complicated past and a lot of stories to tell, and he's also super kind of badass. I mean, if you want to click a video on why he's super badass, you can go ahead and do that. I don't know why you would. But Tony Daniel is going to be writing the solo series, famous for his Battle for the Cowl series in Batman. So we'll get to see what comes of this. He says that, ever since he's seen him on the Arrow, he's gonna want to get Green Arrow into the mix. So we'll see what comes out there. But, good news, he's getting his dues. And in quite unexpected news, especially for Sony, the PlayStation Vita is not found anywhere. People can't get it. The supply is not keeping up with demand. They kind of ramped down the production of the PlayStation Vita after they came out with the Slim as well as the Borderlands 2 bundle. But ever since then, the demand has outstripped the ability for Sony to create the consoles. Now, they obviously aren't ramping them up as much as possible, so, it's not selling spectacularly well, but they're selling all the ones that they can make recently. And I think that's definitely good for a pretty good system. It's very powerful. This is the original one. It's not the Slim one, so it's got the OLED, which is very nice. It's a good system. It's great at what it does. The problem with that, as well as the 3DS, if you ask me, there just aren't a lot of great AAA titles for the console that are, exclusive to the handheld platform. And, we've seen the Vita sales spike, ever since the PlayStation 4 came out because of the whole off-screen and the go on you play capabilities, whatever. I think, the purpose of having a handheld is to play those handheld games. And with the successes of certain, JRPGs, especially those that have finally come across to America, we've seen that, people like these games. They want these games, and that's how the console is going to sell. If it can be backed up through games, not just this, play on the go PlayStation 4 connectivity. That will help the sales somewhat, and I think, it's definitely good for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita with its connectivity, but I think the strength in the PlayStation Vita, and the numbers kind of support it, is the games. And right now those are in short supply, but we have a couple of really cool releases coming out this summer and fall, especially as more Japanese titles get a westward release after lots of demands. I mean, those are the best games that you can really get on, Sony consoles, is those ones that came straight out of Japan and are only exclusive to Sony. And, hopefully this is a good sign for more AAA titles to be released on the Vita platform as more units get into the hands of the consumers. Anyways, that is every single thing that mattered this week. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you think that this is something that you would continue to enjoy, you can hit that subscribe button. One of these comes out every single Saturday. If you want to know which fictional universe is the best one to live in, you click this link right here. If you want to see a badass play Pac-Man, you can click this link right here. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time.